what should a publisher realistically expect from CTV?
In terms of UA, CTV is the brand new one. It's the biggest screen in the house. I will say this, it's a good rule of thumb. Looking at 100% of UA spend, you should at least dedicate 10% to CTV.
There's some companies we work with that are driving 90% new users just on CTV.
Here it is, Mobile Groove in Barcelona, fantastic city. Great guests as well, because I have Nick and Kian from tvScientific, and I can congratulate you guys because Series B, that is massive. So I guess the party continues in Spain. Sangria.
It does. We get to celebrate here. It's amazing.
So, I mean, here you are at a show. It's maybe not the best way to celebrate, but you've had your celebration this week. But we're looking more at CTV, not just because you got funding, but because we're talking about it more. It was always there. It was always important, but maybe the understanding of what it brings to the table was a little bit off. What should a publisher realistically expect from CTV?
Absolutely, and no pun intended, but over the last 3 years and currently, it still very much is science in motion on the CTV front. Massive strides have been made on our measurement side, but also on the MFP measurement side. And I think that's where, for gaming companies, that's where you can kind of create an advantage right now for people that are testing CTV, because in a sense, there's not a perfect science to it right now. So there's a lot of experimentation being done, and I think the main part of that is the incrementality piece. Am I reaching new users on CTV that I'm not reaching from rewarded, from social, etc.? I feel like all of the traditional mobile companies, they play in a similar-ish sandbox, right, in terms of UA. CTV is the brand new one. It's the biggest screen in the house. There's 170 million households, unique reach, unique households, and that's just in the US, and we're expanding from there. So that's where the biggest opportunity is. These are new users, these are incremental users, and the smartest gaming companies right now, it's how they're measuring it, how they're looking at the data.
So when you say incremental reach, that's always exciting. I was just speaking on some panels where it's like, yes, that's my focus. I want to crack the code on incrementality, which is very, very tough, but it is the focus. Give me some numbers, give me some idea of what I can achieve or what I can expect when I make CTV part of my campaign. Maybe you can take a Kian.
There's some companies we work with that are driving 90% new users just on CTV that they're not reaching us, which is really exciting because it's an untapped market for them to then monetize and grow. So it's a lot of new users, a lot of new high quality households that they're able to hit on CTV.
I think that's also the point. Now you're getting the household, so you're getting also maybe that additional reach and that additional match with the behavior of the household as well.
Yeah, you start looking at it instead of just like a singular device that I'm trying to reach someone on. You start thinking about the household, there's multiple devices in there. And again, it's taking a step back, really measuring the data in the sense of this is more of an expanded view in terms of who I'm trying to reach. And to hammer home the point, it's still very much, we're in an infancy stage here. So the MMPs, they're doing a great job. They're trying to play catch up as well, but it's been great with the investors and the partners that we've had, NBC, Roku, etc. We're very close to this data when we're making these buys, so we're getting a ton of learnings early on. And again, that's the advantage here, is that if you use this data as close as it is to the buy, instead of relying on too many people in the middle, that's when you get most of your learnings in your incremental buys.
So what does a good campaign look like? Because at the start, it was a little bit like, okay, QR code, I'll scan it on TV, we'll have that, we will understand cause effect, we will understand the impact of the advertising. But we're beyond that. That was sort of beginnings. That was kind of cool. What does cool look like now?
What does cool look like? I'd say still show some gameplay. There's obviously the larger companies that can afford celebrities. They put celebrities in there. QR codes were a thing of the past. I feel like users or society's smart enough to know I don't have to stand up or zoom in from my couch to install an app. They're very wise and they know they could search it. But that also is a conversation because some that have not ever done CTV before, they say, why can't I just do a QR code for attribution? And to that point, people are smart enough to go search. they may see a CTV ad and then go click on an Apple search ad or Google search ad. So it's all part of the education piece, but cool. It's it's telling the story in 15 to 30 seconds, 15 or 30 seconds, I should say, showing enough gameplay, but also making it, attractive enough and the feel enough to want to act on it immediately, and then the mindset that I'm seeing a TV ad, but I'm also going to transfer on my phone to go install.
And it's experiential, right? I mean, because we're in front of the big screen, we can have those creatives, we can have the sound as well, right? Big
That's
deal.
Another thing, there's no mute. So like in that video, oftentimes it's not there on the big screen, no one's muting it, and you can't skip it either.
Yes. So it has to be good, and it can't be missed. So those are two good points. Speaking of cool, you're working with some major companies. Maybe we wrap it up with an idea of what a case study looks like. Maybe unpack that for me, of something where somebody comes in and really gets a benefit, so much so that they've stuck with you.
Major matching casual games, let's say. We work with let's call the top 3. You can guess who they are. They live in the top 10 of the app stores as well. But I would say they come in with an open mind of, I want to digest TV side data, I want to digest what the data looks like in MMP, and then from there we go take a next step and make sure it's incremental. So they want to seek out a little bit of performance, and then from there really turn on afterburners, prove out the incrementality, and then it becomes an evergreen channel. I will say this, it's a good rule of thumb. Looking at 100% of UA spend, you should at least dedicate 10% to CTV, because you have to imagine the direct performance is there, the incrementality is there, but it's also going to boost those other channels as well in terms of conversion rates. So at least plan on that big 1/10 or at least.
So part of that holistic approach, and the attribution is there more and more to understand if you have unduplicated reach, incrementality, or if you're speaking to the same audiences. Speaking of speaking, it's been great speaking with both of you. Nick and Kian, thanks so much for taking the time.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, Peggy.
Thank you. And of course, if you're tuning into In the Groove on YouTube, well, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It will allow you to stay up to date with the series, and not only that, enjoy the pure gold of knowledge and insights our guests bring to every episode.